Hello. I thought it would be interesting today to sort of round up what's been going on in the last week. Trump and Boris to a certain extent. They're both in difficulty. Why? Because in both cases they promised more than they could actually deliver. Neither of these two really likes looking at details. Their core vote in both cases. What's so fascinating to me about the Trump campaign is the core vote has remained pretty well consistent from the moment he was elected to the moment when he lost office. And the same thing looks likely with Boris. Now, a number of interesting things have been going on this week. There's the alarming story of Chris Hunt, which I'll come to a little later, maybe another time. But the most important thing is the dissent over COVID, and what Boris is going to have to do to pander to that dissent. Now remember, Boris has this very flashy approach, and I think that means that because he offers something which he won't necessarily deliver, because he's not really geared to fulfilling the commitments he's made, I believe that things like the manifesto on which he was elected probably no longer matters. And we need to repair the damage to our democracy. We need to make sure that our politicians genuinely get things done rather than say one thing and do something quite different. Now, Boris has been pandering to the right of the Conservative Party, and he will fail. This is the point. He will fail if he cannot get Brexit done in the way that the right insists. We may end up, therefore, with a much harder Brexit. Have you seen this wonderful machine here? We may end up with a much harder Brexit than Boris, or in fact, anybody really intended, or than is probably even necessary. This, in turn, may well lead to a Scottish referendum and the breakup of the Union. So, let's look for the signals coming out over the last few days that demonstrate that this sort of movement is happening. And the most important signal and the most worrying thing that has occurred in the last few days is the abandoning of David Cameron's commitment to international aid. So we've gone down from the 0.7% commitment for international aid at the same time that we're actually increasing the budget for defence. So it can't be argued that we're being squeezed financially and we can't spend money, because we are in fact spending the most enormous amount of money that I think any peacetime government has ever spent. So go back to what Boris does. Boris says what is convenient. Boris likes to make people happy. Boris wants to avoid confrontation. He wants to appeal to his power base. Now, let's imagine that Boris has a rethink. So we know what his character is. We know what he likes to do. The only positive that we've got in this scenario is that he will stick to character. He's quite comfortable letting people down. So here's my proposal. What if the people that he lets down are the right of the Conservative Party? And what we actually get is not a really hard Brexit, but a diluted Brexit. This would not be out of Boris's character at all. Now, whatever type of Brexit Boris delivers, whatever the next few years or months of his premiership are left, we need to put on pressure that the whole nature of our political life should change. That we should be looking for political stability, not political instability, that we should be looking for truth, not lies. Now, let's imagine that we get this diluted Brexit. I can guarantee that within a matter of months, there will be another leadership campaign. So, in fact, more political instability, more fake promises, more reckless disregard for the truth, whoever is campaigning, more chipping away at the core of politics. Now, what is politics? Politics is, if you go back to ancient Greece, politics is based on the word polis, which is the Greek word for city. So politics is about how best to govern our city. It's not about fancy ideologies. It's not about manifesto promises. It's about the practical machinery of getting things done. And if we look at COVID, we can see that things are not getting done. If we look at America, we have a really good example of flashy politics where we don't say what we mean. In fact, we don't look at the detail and we don't get things done. Now, sorry, you want to see this. This is much more interesting, isn't it? Look. So we wound it up, so we turn it on, and I don't know whether we can actually get a noise out of this. I think we can. Sounds like Mrs. May at the moment, doesn't it? Repetitive and rather bumpy. Are we going to get anything out of it? Oh, look, there you are, you see. It's actually got Mrs. May's voice, hasn't it, don't you think? I mean, she's the person... I think most of the damage was done by that lady. Yeah, there you are, you see. At this moment, she could be running through a field of corn. Bum, bum, bum. But anyway, look, come back later. Do sign up. Do sign up for more of my stuff. Have fun. Bye-bye.